Welcome to Meet Me on Main Street, the podcast that takes you straight into the magic of Disney, the thrills of Universal, and everything in between. This is a 407 and Beyond production, where vacations are more than just trips. They're unforgettable family vacations. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all socials at Main Street Pod. Now let's get started on this week's episode, because all the best stories begin and end right here on Main Street. Let's do it. Yo, what is up, everybody? This is your guy, Joey Belvedere, aka Nostalgic Belv, and as always, I hope you are having a wonderful day. So, as you guys know, I am still down in Orlando. This is going to be episode 2 about my trip down here, and I got a lot to talk about. Had a little break in the action. I went down to Epic Universe for the day today, but my wife and my son, they flew in yesterday, and they're over at Epcot, so I figured I needed to head back to the resort, get a little rest. The sun was hitting strong today, and I figured it'd be a good time while nobody's at the room to go back and record and talk about everything that happened this week, because it's been a jam-packed week full of a bunch of fun stuff, and I'm excited to talk about it. So Monday, we ended up going to Magic Kingdom, and I got to meet all the people over at 407 and Beyond. And by all, I mean just the people that decided to go onto the fam trip. And I have to say that everybody was extremely friendly and they were super inviting. And I just felt like I was at home, and everybody just welcomed me with open arms. And I just want to say I appreciate everybody over at the 407 and Beyond team, because I really feel like I'm a part of something really big with you guys. And I'm just excited to see what the future holds for everybody. So we did Magic Kingdom. Crowds really were not that bad. We ended up riding the People Mover, and when you're passing through the area that goes in front of the laugh floor, there was like nobody there. And we all kind of were talking amongst each other saying, wow, it seems like there's not a lot of people here today. So after this, I headed on over to Tron. A couple people had lightning lanes, but I just decided just to hop in the regular lane. The line really was not that bad. I think it was like a 35-minute wait at this time. And awesome. Love Tron. Looking forward to the change of the lights. They're going to be changing the lights color over to red comes Monday. I'm going to see if I could swing over there before I head back to Scranton, because my flight's not till 4 and I'm going to get that annual pass now. So I'm going to see if I could fly over to Magic Kingdom before my flight and see if I can get some video of the red lights over at Tron. But of course, you want to see that at nighttime. That's what's going to do it the most justice. But if I can make it over there, I'd like to. So yeah, Tron was dope. I love riding Tron. There was actually a young girl who was riding next to me. It was her first time. It was like a family of like, I want to say like 7. It was an odd number because she was the odd one out, and she rode next to me, and I was trying to talk her down. I was like, hey, listen, you're going to be okay. But there was nothing talking her down. She was just crying her eyes out. I felt real bad about that. And then afterwards, I was telling my wife about it, and I realized I could check back in my memory maker, and I saw the video of her, and she was just a mess the entire time. But after the ride was over, she said it was a good time, and she wanted to go back on it. So she faced her fears. Shout out to that little girl. After this, we went over to the Country Bear Jamboree. Got out of the sun for a little bit, watched the show. That's always a fun show, guys. If you never watched it and you got the chance, go down there, check out that show. It's always fun. Right next door, there is a pin store. This is like the store that I like getting my pins off the boards from, because a lot of people are opening up the mystery boxes in there. This is like my tip, my number one tip for the pin traders. Go to this store because people are popping the mystery boxes, and whenever they get a duplicate, they're going to go on over to the pin board and they're going to trade that duplicate onto the pin board for whatever else they can get. And that's when you find the best real Disney pins for your collection. You know what I'm saying? I ended up starting a new box box I started is just called the Toys in a Box set. And there's some fun characters on there. We got Figment, Winnie the Pooh, Stitch, Mickey. There's a bunch. I think I have half the set already. I'm going back to Disney this weekend with my family, and I already know I'm probably going to open another three, four of those boxes because that you know how I do it with the pins. After this, Bruce, the owner of the company, he said, "Hey, listen, there is a reservation over at Tony's. I'm going to be heading over there. There's an open spot. Would you like to come?" So me, Bruce, and Tom, we went over to Tony's. We got a light lunch. I ended up just having a Caesar salad. Tom got the mozzarella sticks, and Bruce got the chicken parm. And I gotta say, all of it looked really, really good. You can't go wrong eating over at Tony's, right in front of the park at Magic Kingdom. So after this, we made a reservation over at Trader Sam's over at the Polynesian. If you don't know what Trader Sam's is, it's like a small little tucked away bar over at the Polynesian, and they have a large variety of different alcoholic drinks. And some of them have the option to come with a souvenir cup, which is very, very cool. These drinks are a little expensive, but if you want to treat yourself to something cool and a good experience, Trader Sam's is definitely the spot to go check out. Some of these bigger drinks that come with this souvenir cup, when you order them, the waitress actually puts on like a little act when she's bringing it over. So, for example, if you order the zombie, when she brings the cup over, she has these like googly, like if you could imagine those old school glasses where like the googly eyes are like coming off of the glasses. She comes over wearing those, walking like a zombie. The entire place starts to erupt. So it looks like there's these windows on the walls, but it's actually like TV screens. And when some of these drinks are ordered, there's a volcano that's seen. The volcano erupts, a storm starts, a tornado comes through. There's all these different cool things that you can see on there. Um, and then the whole room reacts to it. It gets everybody excited. Now, the cool thing about Trader Sam's is, I would say the capacity of people in here is like 30. Like there is not many people that could be sitting down inside of this little bar. So you have to make reservations and it's very hard to get into. But I will say it is a must do if you are going to Disney and you're a fan of getting mixed drinks. As for the food, they have a very small menu for appetizers. We ended up getting the spicy sushi roll, and I have to say, it was pretty good, a little spicy, but everybody seemed to enjoy it. So after this, we headed back to Magic, rode a couple more rides, and I ended up grabbing a Halloween candy apple, and I called it a night, headed back to the resort to get some sleep because the next day we were heading on over to Epcot. So as soon as we got into Epcot, couple of the agents and myself, we all jumped on the test track and we hopped in the single riders line and we basically walked right into the ride, which was amazing. This was the first time I ever rode test track, so I don't really have a preference on if the newer one is better than the old version, but I will say it was a very fun ride. And the one thing that stood out to me the most is when you're about to shoot out onto the track, they bring you into this room and it's almost like if you were to ride Flight of Passage, where you kind of enter that globe room, makes you feel like you're in this like futuristic city. And right when I was really trying to get good video of that room, it just shoots you out onto the track, and then you're right outside. Boom, you know. But I enjoyed that ride a lot. And then, of course, when the ride is over, they bring you into like a showroom of some like expensive exotic vehicles. A lot of cool cars in there, a lot of cool things to check out. Just another nice little touch from Disney for you to enjoy after the test track ride. So after this, it was time to get over to the World Showcase. We were hungry. It was just about 11 a.m., so the showcase was opening up and we were all ready to eat. There were certain things we were all excited for. And we started it off over at the Odyssey Pavilion, and they had a few different selections of beers, some IPAs, but they also had these chicken wings that looked really, really good. They had a garlic parm, and they also had a Carolina Reaper pepper curry wing, which shout out to Beth because she grabbed those wings. She ate a few of them. She didn't just eat one, she ate a few, and she was not afraid of the heat, and she ate them right up. And also Hannah ate one too. So shout out to you two. for trying out those Carolina Reaper curry wings. After that, we went over to Mexico and we checked out the Grand Fiesta Tour. That's always a fun little ride. And then, we really just bounced around the World Showcase at this point. There was a few different places that I stopped, just to highlight a few of the things that I ate. I got the pork belly and rice. I will say the rice and the beans were amazing, but the pork belly, it almost seemed like it was a little bit overcooked, a little chewy. You couldn't cut through it with a fork, where usually pork belly is a little bit more soft. Um, there was a few of us that actually got it and agreed. Maybe just got it at a weird time. Maybe it was a little overcooked. Maybe it'll be better on a different day. I'm not sure. The creme brulee with a blueberry lemon preserves. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. And then we also got the trout. Now, I said on the podcast last week, I was looking forward to trying out this trout. I've been fishing a lot lately, and one fish that I never ate was trout. So I got it, and I will say it wasn't that good. I didn't finish it, but it did come with like some sort of puree, and the puree was really, really good. I wish I could have just had another little side dish of that puree because it was almost like a butternut squash like soup. It kind of tasted like, but it's really good. So, we bounced around, rode a couple rides, and a couple of us decided to head over to Hollywood Studios, do a little park hop, see what was going on over there, and we decided to go check out the Primetime Diner. So I've eaten at the Primetime Diner in the past, and I know that they are known for the peanut butter and jelly milkshakes and the cornbread skillet. So that's exactly what we did. We ended up getting a couple of the peanut butter and jelly milkshakes. We got a toasted marshmallow old fashioned, and we got the cornbread skillet with honey butter. And that cornbread skillet, as simple as it sounds, it's always super, super good. And prime time is just good vibes in there. The theming is obviously very nostalgic. And I always highly suggest prime time, especially if you're into fried chicken. They got some of the best fried chicken in Disney. So moving on, we then went down to Galaxy's Edge. We met Chewbacca and did a little walking around there. It's always fun to see the Star Wars characters roaming around, especially if you're lucky enough to see some stormtroopers. They're always causing trouble and doing what stormtroopers do. After this, though, it was getting kind of late, and we decided to call it a night. A bunch of us left because we had a new hotel that we had to check into because we were heading over to Universal. So on the way out, we were able to see the Epcot ball light up. If you've never seen that before, that is also something to see. It's very, very just, it's almost therapeutic in a way. Watching the light, because it's a light show. You're watching the light show on the ball. They got this crazy like theatrical music playing while the ball is lighting up. It's a show in itself, really. And we were lucky to see it in passing, so we watched it, got a couple photos, got a couple videos, and then we headed out. Now, on the way out, Bruce mentioned to me that there were these tiles on this wall. They were called Leave a Legacy tile. And basically, you'd be able to purchase one of these tiles and have your family's photo etched onto it. And there were some famous stars at the time that also put their pictures up there. So, In Sync could be spotted on these walls with these tiles. And Bruce was able to find it and point it out to me. So on the way out to the parking lot for the first time, I was able to see NSYNC on the Leave a Legacy wall, and I got to see their tiles, which was pretty cool. So at this point, we got out of there, and it was time to head over to Universal's Aventura Hotel. And first impression, pulling in, it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. It's got 17 floors, and on the 17th floor, there's actually a bar restaurant where you could see all out on all of Orlando, and it's super, super cool. So when I booked my trip, I specifically requested if I could have a high floor, and luckily they put me on the 16th floor. So brought my bags in, Went up the elevator all the way to 16. Now, sometimes when you stay on those high floors, you could actually feel your ears popping as you're going up on those the elevator, and that's exactly what I felt. So I come up to my room, I scan my key card, I open the door, and the first thing I see is that view. I got that beautiful view of Orlando, and I just had to walk over to the window, stand there for a couple minutes, and just take it all in because keep in mind, it's nighttime now, all the lights are on, and I'm just seeing so far out into Orlando and seeing everything going on, even a little bit of some amusement park action, and it's awesome. Very, very cool. I haven't had a room like this in a long time to have that view because normally I don't care about that type of thing. I won't spend up for it, but really didn't cost me anything extra to have it, and I was just really, really thankful to just be able to take that all in. So after that, I decided to go up to that rooftop bar, check things out. I had the chicken bao bun, which is not something I would normally get, but I wanted to try something different. And I will say it was very, very good. And of course, I just had a plate of fries, plain Jane, nothing crazy there. And that was very good as well. But we ended up closing out the night because the next day we had training over at Universal. We had the opportunity to tour some of the very, very nice hotels and resorts that Universal has to offer. So, to start off the day, Megan treated everybody to some Krispy Kreme donuts, but not just any Krispy Kreme donut. These were sorting Krispy Kreme donuts from Harry Potter for you to figure out what house you belong to. So we all took a bite of these donuts, and I found out that I was a part of Ravenclaw. We had a lot of fun with that. And once again, thank you, Megan, for the Krispy Kreme donut and the breakfast. So we hopped on the bus, and the first hotel we got to tour was the Terra Luna. And guys, I will say, for the price, the Terra Luna is a beautiful hotel, and it is not far from the action at all. I actually am thinking about booking a stay for myself there before I leave here this trip. So, this building is covered in over 40,000 tiles, and every single one of these tiles is acid dyed to get that specific color. And there are actually a specific number on every single tile. So, if one of these tiles is to be changed, they could get that exact color back. And once again, guys, these are acid dyed tiles, and the building is just beautiful. It almost reminds me of the scales of a fish. It's very, very cool. So we toured that place. Very, very nice. Many different room options. Very affordable, just to give you the quick summary. And then I got talking to Gia on the bus, and she was asking me what I ended up getting with my donut. And she asked me what house I was a part of, and I told her I was a part of Ravenclaw. And then she began to explain to me that there is an actual quiz that you could take online so you could go more in depth and make sure that you are in the right house. So she sent me the link to the test. I took the test on the bus on the way to the next resort, and I found out, drumroll please, Gryffindor. I am a part of Gryffindor, which I was surprised by. I actually thought I was going to be Slytherin, but I had a lot of fun with that. So we headed on over to the Helios Grand. Guys, this place is absolutely beautiful, and it is literally right in Epic Universe's backyard. There is a outdoor area that you can go stand, and you could literally see right into Epic Universe, literally 20 feet away from Epic, and you could see everything that's going on. It's so, so cool. And you even have your own private entrance into Epic Universe if you're staying there. Guys, this also had a rooftop bar restaurant. It was called Bar Helios, and it was so beautiful. It was closed when we got there, so we were actually able to just go up there and take a walk around and see everything. It is so, so nice. Full park view and a beautiful view of all of Orlando along with that. So, so cool. Of course, they have your standard rooms, but they also have these really cool kid suites that are themed. And we're gonna have some cool video of that coming soon. And wow, just overwhelmed by how good of a job they did at this resort. It was beautiful. After this, we had a quick little learning session over at Universal, And the things that I learned in just a short amount of time, I'm just so excited to be able to share with you guys in the future, especially for you guys who are looking to book universal vacations. Guys, 407 and Beyond will take care of you for all of your vacation needs, no matter where you want to go in the world, whether you want to go to Disney, Universal, or anywhere. 407 and Beyond is the team you want to choose to help you book your vacation. All of our services are 100% free, and we will make sure that you are literally getting the best experience for the money that you're putting out there. Our travel agents are experts, and we know how to help you with all of your travel needs. So once again, I don't want to bore you guys with the classroom stuff. That's for us to take care of. That's what we do. After that, decided to meet up with my family, and we've headed down to Disney Springs to, you know what we do, get that polite pig. And you already know what I got. I got the butcher board. You know I do that every single time because it's the best value, and you get to try a little bit of everything. But after that, we, for the first time, actually went over to the Lego store and just did a little looking around there. That store is super, super cool. Apologize if you just heard a baby scream in the background. There is a baby in the hallway of the hotel right now. But yeah, we went over to the Legos. There's so many cool things over there. Some of the statues they have built out of the Legos are just amazing. Seriously, super, super amazing. Um, I then went over to the pin store over in Disney Springs and I bought one of the biggest pins I've ever bought. It's a Hocus Pocus pin, and it can also be used as a Halloween countdown. So I'm at the crossroads right now. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in the box or if I'm actually going to take it out and use it as a Halloween countdown. I have a hard time keeping things in the box sometimes. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. From there, went back to the resort, relaxed, got a good night's sleep. That's one thing I've really been trying to do on this vacation, guys. I sometimes forget to sleep. And when you're on vacation, you also have to make sure that you're relaxing, of course, too. And if you're hitting these long park days, you obviously got to make sure you got the energy to get through the entire day. So we went to sleep. I got a good 8 hours of sleep in. Super, super happy about that. And then comes the next morning, which was today. It was time for Epic Universe. So I have never been to Epic Universe previously to today. Hopped on the bus, went down there, got through security. I have to say, the bus system at this resort is super, super easy. I went down. I was lucky enough that there was a bus right in front of the building that was heading right to Epic. I jumped right on, took the last spot on the bus, about a 15-minute drive to Epic, which was not bad at all. And then you head right onto the gate, go through security, and I was there for rope drop. I was ready to go. Uh, didn't know which way to go once I got in because I've never been there before. You can go left or you can go right. I heard somebody mention Harry Potter on the right side, so I decided let's go to the right. Went down there. First thing I want to say about Epic Universe, they could have called Epic Universe Immersive Universe because every single land is just extremely immersive and there's just crazy, meticulous attention to detail. And it's simply breathtaking when you walk into these areas. I can't get into that enough. I jumped right onto Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, and I gotta say, that ride was amazing. I don't want to give too much away, but just once again, the attention to detail is just, if I had to give it one word, it's extravagant. Like it's just insane how crystal clear everything is, the animatronics, like it's just, once again, another word I've used before, it's breathtaking. It really, really is. You know, I don't want to give too much away in this podcast, especially if you've never been there before. So I'm just going to kind of jump around a little bit here and there. But then, I went over to Dark Universe. Once again, crazy attention to detail. You got two rides over there, and the wait times, they weren't bad at all. I know some of the agents, they were able to literally jump in the single riders line and get right onto these rides because we were there pretty early on. After that, I headed over to How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Bur. And this is themed around the popular movie series that is inspired by the world of Vikings and dragons. And once again, extremely, extremely immersive. There is so much going on in this world over here between, the dragon meets, the shows, the characters that are walking around, even the food. I saw Libby, Gia, and Tessa, they got these really cool, trying to figure out how to explain it. It was a handheld piece of bread with the inside ripped out, and it was filled with macaroni and cheese. So you hold it like an ice cream cone, but you also eat it like an ice cream cone as well, actually. But it was filled with macaroni and cheese, and it was a piece of bread. It was so interesting. It was original. I've never really seen anything like it before. I'm actually regretful that I didn't get one because it looked really, really good. But I was on the move and I wasn't ready to sit down and eat yet, but it looked very, very good. I did get a video of that as well. Of course, check out their social medias as well. If you ever want to follow anybody from the 407 team that I mentioned, if you go onto 407's website and you check the agents tab, you could click on each of these people individually and pull up their socials. Every agent has their own style of how they post, and you're going to get value from all of them in a different way. So I highly suggest that. Go check out some of the agents on their social medias, and you could find them on the 407 website, which I'll leave a link in the bio, of course. So now, if you want to talk about nostalgia, and one of the most nostalgic things to me is video games. I played a ton of video games growing up, especially Super Mario. So I was extremely excited for this Nintendo world. Once again, guys, I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it a third time. If I had to use a word to describe all of this, it would be immersive. As soon as you walk into this area, you are in Super Mario Land. Like, it is insane how cool it is there. It literally felt like I had just grabbed a one-up mushroom and was transported straight into the Mushroom Kingdom. Everywhere I looked, there were iconic blocks and power-up items, just like in the games we all grew up playing. The attention to detail, once again, is just unreal. From the green pipes, the warp zones, it's like you're living inside of a level of Super Mario. And this place is it's just a total game changer for any Nintendo fan. You just don't want to miss it, guys. You just really don't. So then I walked over to the Donkey Kong area, and Donkey Kong himself was out. Kids were meeting him, they were lined up, they were excited. I decided to go over and ride the Donkey Kong ride. It was a 200-minute wait, guys. I mean, that's a long time. That's over 3 hours. That's an over 3-hour wait, but they have a single rider's line, so in my head, I figured, if it's 3 hours for the normal line, maybe I'll get away with an hour for the single riders. Now, yes, I did get to the front of the line in about a little over 60 minutes, but the ride broke down and it was shut down for about 45 minutes. I'm talking right before I got onto the ride. So they got the ride up and running again. I get onto the ride, and then the ride broke down while I was on the ride. I just posted a video of that on my story on Instagram. And yeah, I was just posted up sitting at the top of the coaster, looking out over Nintendo World, and it was actually pretty cool. I actually enjoyed doing that. Not everybody can do what I did today because I broke down at such a random spot. But yeah, it broke down. So I still got the experience, but I didn't get the smooth ride straight through to be able to get, the full experience, I should say. Um, After this, I seen a few people lined up over at the Bubbly Barrel. So I went over to see what was going on over there because it seemed like had the most people lined up there out of any of the food or the quick service places. And they basically had a Donkey Kong Crush float. So you could choose to get this either with or without the souvenir cup. And it was like a pineapple soda in the bottom. And then it was topped with almost like a pineapple banana, I would say like a Dole Whip, now covered with caramel corn and toffee bits, and this is all on top of like a waffle bowl. So very interesting. a lot going on, but I will say I ate the entire thing and I was able to bring the souvenir cup back home as well. So at this point, guys, it's extremely hot. One thing I will say about Epic Universe is it is a little hard to find shade at times. So you definitely want to make sure that you got your sunblock on. Of course, me being in a rush, running out of the hotel room this morning, I forgot to put the sunscreen on. So at around 3:30, I decided to head out of Epic Universe, head back to the hotel, and get this podcast up and running while it was on my mind, you know? Keep things fresh. So, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode. Once again, big announcement officially with 407 and Beyond Productions. Can't describe how excited I am. I want to thank everybody over at 407, especially my guy Bruce Beal, the owner of 407. Such a good dude, and I'm excited to be a part of this team. So, guys, with that being said, make sure you follow the socials. Make sure you go follow 407 and Beyond on everything. They're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, they are on Instagram. Follow them. We have an amazing team over there that will help you book your dream vacation. It doesn't just have to be Disney Universal. We will literally help you go anywhere in the world, and we will make it the best trip possible. If you want to follow me on my socials, I'm Nostalgic Belv on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow our new Instagram for this podcast over at Main Street Pod. If you could subscribe to the podcast and share it, that would also mean the world to me. That'll help us grow, and it'll help us keeping more episodes coming your way. Once again, thank you for the support as always, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy your day. Much love, and meet me here next week back on Main Street. Bye-bye.